Hello students. Today we will discuss the next topic of chapter sets, and the topic is subsets. Here subset means the part of a set, right? So let us start with one simple example. If I am writing here a set A where A is having 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There are 6 natural numbers in the set A and one more set B. I am writing it is having 2, 4 and 6. Right? Now, if I check these two sets, we can find that every element of B, the element 2, element 4 and element 6. So every element of B is also present in A, but every element of A I can't say it is present in B. So here let me write down one thing, that every element of B is also an element of A. If this thing happens between two sets, like every element of one set is also an element of the other set, then we can say that this set B is contained in A, right? Because every element of B is coming from A, so we can say B is contained in A, and this word B is contained in A, we can also say that B is a subset of A, right? Either contained or subset of, it will be same. Now, if I take one more example here, like we have our school, let us say the school is there, and we have the class 11th also, right? And this class 11 is of the same school, right? Class 11 of same school. We can take the example of our school also, right? SGS, if I say, if SGS is there and there is a class 11 of SGS, as you all are in class 11, definitely class 11 is having here three different streams: humanities, science and commerce. But if I combine all the three sections, they are all representing the same class 11. Now what is the relationship between these two things? This is also the collection of students, and this is also the collection of students, but each and every student of class 11, since we are taking this class 11 of the same school SGS, so each and every one of you is also a student of SGS, right? So if there are X, Y, Z, W, T, R, all the students are there in SGS, right? I am taking few numbers only, and there are few students in class 11 out of this, that is XYZ, and let us take these XYZ are from you people only. Then every student of class 11 is also a student of SGS. That means class 11 is the part of SGS only. Okay, it means 11 is contained in SGS, right? If I go to 12th class of St. SGS is also contained in SGS. So class 12 also will become then subset of SGS. Class 11 is the subset of SGS, right? Class 12 is the subset of SGS, and each and every class of this school SGS will be its subset. Now I am using the word subset and writing this symbol. So this symbol, it is written like this, is the symbol to represent subset, right? It is the symbol which represents that it is the subset. Clear? So here class 11 is the subset of SGS, class 12 is also the subset of SGS, and here, so if I have to write down the relationship between A and B, then how will we write down? We will say here that B is a subset of A, because every element of B is also an element of A. Then B will be the subset of A. Okay, if I take one more set, let us say set X is there, capital X set is there. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. it is having 6 natural numbers, right? Now what will be the relationship between A and B? Every element of X is an element of A also, and every element of A is an element of X. So here A is equal to X. So this is the sign of equality. That means when two sets are equal, every element of set A is also an element of set X, that we have already done. So but if if every element of B is also an element of A, but there are few elements in A which are not contained, which are not present in B, then what we will say, the smaller set B is the subset of A, right? And if B is the subset of A, then this A will be called superset of B. It will be called superset of B. If it is completely contained in A, that every element of B is also an element of A, it will be called superset of B, right? And definitely when I am saying here A is equal to X, I can say this thing, that A is a subset of X and X is a subset of A. A is contained in X, X is contained in A. So when it means this is both way implies. If I say A is equal to X, it means A is a subset of X and X is a subset of A. And when I go the other thing, if A is a subset of X and X is a subset of A, it means A is equal to X. This line, when we are using it implies here, and this arrow put in this direction also, this symbol is called both way implies. Both ways imply. Both way imply, that is from this direction to this direction also it works, from right to left also it works. And this condition is also called if and only if. If and only if. And this if and only if, when we are writing, we can write it as IFF also. So this IFF, whenever we write down, we will read it as if and only if. It will not be if, right? We will read it always as if and only if. That means necessary and sufficient condition. Clear? So we are discussing the subset. B is a subset of A if every element of B is also an element of A, and B will be completely contained in A. And if B is a subset of A, we will call A is a superset of B, right? So here I want to make one difference in these two things, because we are using here A is contained in X and X is contained in A, right? And here I am writing B is contained in A. Okay, when I say A is contained in X and X is contained in A, it means A is a subset of X also and A is equal to X also. Here I will not say X is a superset of A and I will not say A is a superset of X, because they are both equal also. Clear? But if it is completely contained in, not equal, then only the superset term we will use. Clear? Right? Now let us discuss few more examples on the subset, because we have used these things earlier also, but we have never used the word subset. For example, if I consider the number systems R, N, Z and other so many number systems are there. Let us take these three first of all. R means set of real numbers. So here all the real numbers are there. N is all the natural numbers. And what is Z? Z is the set of integers. If you want, you can take here whole numbers also, irrational numbers also, rationals also, every other different set we can consider. I want to make the relationship between these things. Now natural numbers start with 1, 2, 3, counting numbers only. But when we talk about Z, set of integers, it is taking all the negative integers, -1, -2, -3, -4, so on till minus infinity. 0 will also be there, and 1, 2, 3, 4 up to so on, plus infinity will also be there, right? So here what is happening? What will be the relationship between N and Z? Every natural number is an integer also, but every integer is not a natural number. So N is a proper subset of integers. And further, integers. What is the integers? Integers will be the proper subset of set of real numbers, right? So like that we can make the relationship between n and whole numbers w also. W is having one number extra, and what is that? That is 0, right? So natural numbers will be again a proper subset of whole numbers, right? So this is all about the concept of subset, right? And remember always, whenever a set is there, for example, let us write down few values a, b, c and d, okay, and I am writing another set b, and it is this phi. It is null set, right? I hope you remember phi or null set, both these are the ways to represent it. Now what will be the relationship between any set and null set? Remember, it is important point, null set is the subset of each and every set, because when I am not writing anything, there is nothing in these curly braces, so always this nothing will be there in every set. Every set will be having the subset as the null set. So this is the first point to be kept in memory, that null set is the subset of every set. This is the first point. And second point, every set is the subset of itself. Every set, because if I write down a, b, c, d, and a, b, c, d, all these elements are contained in set a, b, c, d also. So every set is a subset of itself, and null set is the subset of every set. So these two important things are there, right? It means whatever set we write down, always at least these two subsets will always be there. What are these two subsets? The set itself and the null set. There will be other subsets also. How we can find, how we can write, that we will discuss. But first of all, remember this thing, the relationship, how we are writing it, and phi, that is the null set, is the subset of every set, and every set is the subset of itself, right? Now if I make the relationship between here, let us say natural numbers and integers in such a way, integers and natural numbers, is integers, set of integers is the subset of natural numbers? No, it is not. So we will write it down in this way, that set of integers is not the subset of set of natural numbers. It is just like when we are using the relationship between element and set. Let us go to this. If a, b, c, d are present here, we say a belongs to a. And if I talk about E, it does not belong to A. I am talking about this particular set. Similarly, if Z is not a subset of N, then we will simply cross this symbol, which will be read as it is not a subset of N. Clear? Based upon this concept, sorry, there was a small disturbance in the video. Based upon this concept, you people can do till sum number 3 of exercise 1.3. And one more thing that is important in sum number 3 I want to discuss here. Sum number 3, I will be discussing few parts here, like set A is given, which is having the elements 1, 2, and here it is written 3, 4, and the next element is 5. I want to explain this set to you people first of all. 1, 2, 3, 4. How many elements are there first of all in this set? There is 1 element, 2 element, and this complete will be considered as 1 element only, right? It will not be considered as 3 is 1 element, then 4 is another element. No, because this is complete 1 element, because it is written again within curly braces, right? So this will be considered as 1 number, and the next element of the set is 5. So total how many elements are there in set A? There are 4 elements in set A, and if I make the relationship between the elements and the set, then 1, it belongs to A, right? Because 1 is an element. Then the next 2, it also belongs to A. Element 5, it also belongs to A, right? And now if I write down this element 1 within curly braces. Now what is this? It has become a set. Definitely this set is having only one element. So the set which contains only one element will be called singleton set, right? You can write down the definition in the register. It's a small thing, small one sentence only. What is a singleton set? A set containing one element will be called singleton set, right? But what I want to explain here, when I write down the element within curly braces, now this is no longer an element, it has become a set. Similarly, when I write down this 2 within curly braces, it also has become a set, and when I write down this 5 within curly braces, it has become a set. Okay, now this set, if I give another name, let us say capital X is there, or Y and Z are there, these X, Y, Z sets are there now, and all the sets, these are singleton sets. What is the relationship between this set and set A? This set is having 1 and set A is also having an element and 1. So every element of this set, no doubt there is only one element, so this element is also an element of A. So I will say this set is subset of A, right? When I am writing 1, it is an element, it belongs to A. When I write down 1 within curly braces, it has become a set, and the relationship between this set and set A is, it is the subset of A. Similarly 2 within curly braces, it is a set, but what is the relationship between this singleton set and set A? It is now a subset of A. Similarly 5, it is also a subset of A. Now, what will be the relationship between this number 3? Does it belong to A? 3 element is not present here individually. It is bound with number 4, and 3 and 4 together are acting as one element. So 3, it does not belong to A. Even 4, it does not belong to A. But when I am writing this 3 and 4, because this 3 number and 4 number, these two numbers have come together within curly braces. So this 3 comma 4 within curly braces is an element of A. So what will be the relationship here? 3, 4 within curly braces already given here. So this is an element of A, right? And how will it become set? When I write down this element 3, 4, when I am talking about this, it is an element. When I write down this element within the curly braces, now it has become a set. No doubt it is having 2 braces, but it's okay because this is given in the set A as an element. So if I want to make it as a set, I have to write down this element within curly braces again. So when I am writing this element within curly braces, it has become a set, and the set containing this element is a subset of A. So now it is a subset of A. This concept is important, right? So 3 is not an element of A, 4 is individually not an element of A, but when I am writing 3, 4 within curly braces, because it is given within curly braces, that is why. If I simply write down 3 comma 4, it has no meaning here in the set A, because 3, 4 is not given like that. 3 comma 4 is given within curly braces, so it is the subset of, it is an element of A, and when I write down this element within curly braces, it has become a subset of A, right? Now, what will be the relationship between phi and A? Yes, we have done. Phi is the subset of every set, and set is the subset of itself always. So what will be the relationship between phi and A? Phi is a subset of A. And when I write down phi within curly braces, it is not a subset of A. Why it is not a subset of A? Because phi is not given here as an element. If phi, they would have given phi as an element, then this would have become the subset of A. But since there is no phi written as such, so phi is a subset of A, but phi within curly braces is not a subset of A. Clear? So based upon this, you people can do your exercise 1.3 till sum number 3 only, and then we will discuss the next topic. So thank you class.